was Jesus buried and why was this important? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Mark on Walking Through the Bible. If you have a Bible with you, you can turn to Mark chapter 15. We're going to be reading from verses 42 to 47. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Mark chapter 15, beginning at verse 42. Now when evening had come, because it was the preparation day, that is, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a prominent council member, who was himself waiting for the kingdom of God, coming and taking courage, went into Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Pilate marveled that he was already dead, and summoning the centurion, he asked him if he had been dead for some time. So when he found out from the centurion, he granted the body to Joseph. Then he bought fine linen, took him down, and wrapped him in the linen. And he laid him in a tomb which had been hewn out of the rock, and rolled the stone against the door of the tomb. And Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, observed where he was laid. In our last episode, we read about the death of Jesus. From the time that he was nailed and suspended on the cross to the time that he died was only 6 hours. While this might seem like a long time to us, it was relatively short when it came to crucifixion, which is why Pilate marveled that Jesus died so quickly. In truth, crucifixion could last up to 2 to 3 days, which is why if you wanted the crucifixion to be shortened, you broke the legs of the ones being crucified, for then those people wouldn't be able to pull themselves up to breathe, thus leading to suffocation and death. God the Father was not bloodthirsty. He did not require that his Son suffer for that long, and so was merciful in that he didn't allow Jesus to suffer more than necessary. Jesus died in 6 hours, and in so doing paid the price of sin, thus allowing mankind to be saved. Verse 42 of Mark 15 says that these events happened when evening had come. Because Mark still called this the preparation day means that the sun had yet to set, but it was late in the day. It was probably around 5 o'clock, which in the springtime would have been close to sunset. Then Mark identifies this day as the preparation day before the Sabbath. We can know that this is still the 6th day of the week, what we would call Friday. Mark uses no other language concerning this day, so it would be improper to assume that this Sabbath is anything other than the regular Sabbath, what we would call Saturday. We'll discuss the phrase a high day as it concerns this Sabbath when we study the book of John, for that's the only account where such a phrase is used. So using Mark's account, we find that Jesus died on Friday, not Thursday, not Wednesday, or any other day. He died on Friday and was buried before the sun set on Friday. Concerning that burial, we find that it was Joseph of Arimathea that came to collect the body of Jesus. Mark describes this man as a prominent member of the council who himself was waiting for the kingdom of God. That Joseph came to get the body of Jesus and that he had faith in the teachings of Jesus shows us that when the council met the night before to condemn Jesus, that Joseph wasn't asked to attend. How can we come to such a conclusion? Well, if Joseph was such a prominent member of the council, certainly one of the gospel accounts of Jesus' trial would have said that Joseph spoke up in Jesus' defense. Yes, I'm sure that Joseph was a relatively secret believer of Jesus, but none of the gospels present Joseph as a denier of Jesus or a betrayer of Jesus, but a noble man. So we can fairly safely conclude that the council met without him. Why did Joseph want to collect Jesus' body now? Well, the Jewish Sabbath was upon them, and not only that, this Sabbath was also the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, a holy day. It would thus not be proper for Jesus to be left dead, hanging on the cross, without a burial over the Sabbath. Being a prominent member of the council would have also meant that Joseph was fairly rich. While this might seem insignificant, it is actually important, for it is a fulfillment of prophecy. In Isaiah 53, verse 9, we read, "And they made his grave with the wicked, but with the rich at his death, because he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth." This passage is about the Messiah, and it says that he made his grave with the wicked, meaning he would die with the wicked, just as Jesus did, dying among the criminals, but with the rich at his death, meaning he would be buried among the rich. Joseph, being a rich man, would have had a tomb. Once Pilate had confirmed that Jesus was dead, he did not care who possessed the body, so he released the body of Jesus to Joseph. With only hours before sunset, and not only the eating of the Passover, but the beginning of the Sabbath, Joseph hurriedly wrapped Jesus in a linen cloth, laid the body in a tomb, rolled the stone against the opening, and departed. It is important to note that Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, were there to witness where Jesus was buried, for that will be an important point in our next episode. With that, our time is up today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Mark chapter 16, verses 1 to 13, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.